Hello and namaste. So next I'm starting with the resistance welding. Till now we have covered regarding the introductory part to welding with regards to definition of welding, advantages, disadvantages, definition of weldability, classification of welding processes, then the detailed aspects related to gas welding, arc welding, different arc welding processes. Next is resistance welding. So as we discussed earlier also, resistance welding is the type of welding which is also called as a pressure welding. That means in this the coalescence of the workpiece will be obtained using the heat as well as the pressure. And basically this works on the Joule's law of heating or the heating effects of current. So in resistance welding, the metal parts to be joined are heated by their resistance to the flow of electric current, and the underlying equation in resistance welding is basically H equal to I square RT or V into I into T, where H is the heat generated in joules, I is the current in amperes, and T is the time of current flow in seconds. So basically we will pass the current through the setup consisting of the welding electrodes in conjugation with the workpiece, and the interface we will obtain the weld nugget by passing of the current as well as the simultaneous application of pressure to the workpiece through the electrodes. So various components in the welding process are basically the workpiece, the electrode, force application through a system, then formation of weld nuggets. So there are many types of welding processes such as the spot welding, resistance welding process, seam welding, resistance welding process, percussion welding, upset butt welding, flash butt welding. Let us discuss the most common processes such as the spot welding and the seam welding process. So what happens in a spot welding process? Basically the welding is to be done at intermittent spot. The welding is to be done at intermittent spots, and also basically this resistance spot welding finds its application in the automobile sector, in which basically we can say that in a body of an automobile on an average around 10,000 spot welds are made. So the parts of a setup in automobile in a resistance spot welding consist of the workpiece, the welding electrode which is generally of copper, and the simultaneous application of the pressure to the welding electrode, and it is water cooled also, we will discuss why this is so, workpiece, and this is connected to the system consisting of the transformer, regulator, basically to control the electrical parameters. So this resistance welding is basically a low voltage high current process in which we generally use voltage in the range of 2 to 4 volts and current around 6 to 8 kiloamperes of current. And what happens basically, there are the 4 resistance involved when you are having the electrode and the workpiece. So when we pass on the current and employing the Joule's law of heating or the heating effect of current, 4 resistances come into play. R1, that is the electrode resistance. R1 is the resistance of the electrode. R2, it is the resistance at the interface of the electrode and workpiece. R2 is the interface resistance at the interface of the electrode and workpiece. Then we have R3. R3 is the resistance of the workpiece. And last one is R4, resistance at the interface of workpiece. I repeat, R1 resistance of the electrode, R2 resistance at the interface of electrode and workpiece, R3 the resistance of the workpiece, and R4 it is the resistance at the workpiece interface. Out of these 4 resistance, the main dominating ones are R2 and R4, that is the resistance at the contact of the electrode and workpiece, and resistance at the interface of workpiece and workpiece. So H equal to I square RT, this R is basically dominated by R2 and R4, summation R2 and R4, and out of these also R2 and R4, the R4 also dominates. So we can say primarily the resistance is the resistance at the workpiece interface. So we will pass on the current as we discussed. It is a low voltage and high ampere current, and simultaneous application of the pressure. So what happens, we are having the copper electrodes, and the copper electrodes are water cooled. Now why these are water cooled? Basically there are the two reasons. First of all, that this spot weld formed in the resistance spot welding process, this hardly takes a fraction of a second. And so if the effective cooling of the spot is required, so one purpose served by the water cooled electrode is basically the extraction of the heat from the spot weld formed, so that the spot weld solidifies. Secondly, to keep the electrode cooled also, so that the copper electrode itself, it doesn't melt, so it cools the electrode also. So these are the basically two primary functions by using the water cooled electrode. So this is the spot welding cycle. Let us discuss the same spot welding cycle. So first of all, we have to maintain the contact of the workpiece and the electrode, basically for the alignment purpose also. Then after the contact is established, the pressure, that is the force acting per unit area pressure, the force or the pressure is start to be applied. The application of the pressure, the force starts in an increasing manner and proceeds in an increasing manner. Then this is followed by simultaneously, it is followed by the switching on of the current. And what happens, the nugget formed, and we have already discussed that the main resistance which primarily dominates in H equal to I square RT, this R, R2 and R4, and out of that also R4, which we have discussed, is the resistance at the workpiece interface. So the weld nugget forms between the intersection of the electrode to the workpiece. So we can draw two vertical lines joining the ends of the electrode, and we can draw one horizontal line at the workpiece contact, and finally the intersection of these two horizontal lines and the vertical line. It is this region where the weld nugget, basically a spherical three-dimensional nugget, is formed, which starts and grows as the time proceeds, and after some time, to make it stabilize and grow further, the current is switched off. However, the pressure is still applied. So the weld nugget starts, forms, grows, and finally it is developed. Current is switched off, whereas the pressure is still applied for the time being, and finally the pressure and the electrodes, that is the electrode, are withdrawn, which obviously withdraws the pressure also. These are the stages in the spot welding cycle, and simultaneously we can show the force current variation in the similar manner. So first of all, the contact is established, so from 1 to 2 we can say that the force starts to be applied at this point, increases in a linear manner, increasing manner. Then from 2 to 4, the force remains constant, and after that the force is also decreased and finally withdrawn. Then similarly the current is applied at the stage 3, So it increases again, remains a constant, and it again falls off, because we had discussed that in the fourth portion the current is finally withdrawn. So this is the Weld thermal cycle. So this is the, sorry, not the Weld thermal cycle, this is the variation of the force and current for a spot welding cycle. This is the basic cycle. Obviously we can go on for the modification, in which we can pre-cool and post-cool also, in order to have a better nugget structure. So one more thing is there, basically the discussion with regards to the weld nugget. So this weld nugget, this formed, and we calculate the plug ratio. Plug ratio basically means that the diameter of the weld nugget before and after failure, the ratio. So basically it can be the full failure or the partial failure. So our aim is that whenever we load the plates after the spot weld is formed, our aim is that the weld should remain intact. That means the plates fail somewhere at the joint doesn't fail, but the plates fail somewhere else. This is our aim. So this will called the pressure, this is basically called as the plug ratio 1. Whereas if the failure is due to the failure at the nugget, which is undesirable, the nugget itself breaks, or the plates separate as it is, the plates separate as it is basically plug ratio 0. And in between this, it is partial plug failure, plug ratio 0 to 1. So our aim is that even if the combined structure fails, the plug remains intact. The failure is because of the failure at somewhere else at the plate, not at the plug. So this is regarding the seam welding. Similarly, if we apply the same welding process but in a continuous manner to obtain a leak-proof joint in pressure vessels, that is called a seam welding. It is not intermittent. Now basically it's by the rollers, so that it takes place in a continuous manner, not in an intermittent manner as it was seen in the spot welding. Similarly, we are having a projection welding. What happens in projection welding? The parts to be welded, they are basically having some projecting parts, and same after application of force, switching on current, and the parts will be welded at these spots, at the projections. And we are having a movable electrode and a fixed electrode. So what happens? The fixed electrode will remain in its place, whereas the pressure will drop down towards the fixed electrode, and the movable electrode will move towards the fixed electrode, resulting in the welding, resistance welding, occurring at the location of the projections. Similarly, we are having the other types of welding also. So to summarize, we are having the benefits of resistance welding. Basically, it's high speed welding. It can be automated for high rate production, economical, skilled operators are not required. However, the limitations include at the costs, initial equipment cost, and the joint adds weight and the material, limitation to the type of the joint that can be made, and the skilled persons are required to control the service the control equipment. So this is all regarding the resistance welding. We discussed the basic principle of the resistance welding, Joule's law of heating, H equal to I square RT, the different types of the resistance welding. We also discussed why water cooling is done and what is the basically resistance R1, R2, R3, R4, and R2 and R4 out of that. This is also R4. We discussed what are these different resistances. Then we also discussed regarding the weld nugget, the plug ratio 0, plug ratio 1, plug ratio 0 to 1, and finally we summarize the benefit, advantages, and limitations of the resistance welding process. Thank you.